Yo, what is up, players? This is CaseVictory here with a 4th Gen OU battle between two very good players, MutanYY and Somalia. I'm not going to show you the team preview just because there's no team preview in 4th Gen. I want to make this as realistic as possible. And it kind of keeps the suspense coming because you never know what's coming out. So, okay, this is like my 21st time recording this and my voice hurts. So we're going to get right into this battle. And MutanYY is going to lead with the Infernape while Somalia leads off with the Tyranitar. Being scared of the fighting move, Somalia is going to switch into a Suicune, which we can tell might be a bit physically defensive, just from the way he brought it in. But that U-turn does a kind of, I wouldn't say hefty chunk, but if I was thinking physically defensive Suicune, I'd be a bit thinking he'd take that well. But the Zapdos is going to hit Tyranitar with that Thunderbolt, because Suicune don't want to take no Thunderbolt. And Somalia is just going to do a credible prediction. I'm not even sure how he did this. If I could meet him, I would hug him for this because he didn't even know he had a steal. He just guessed he had a steal and he went for the Earthquake, which is ridiculous. But saying that Tyranitar maybe for fodder later to get the switch initiative, and later on in the match when it really matters, he's going to go into Suicune again, and the Volt Switch is going to happen again. And so he's just picking at the Suicune one by one. So there's a very good strategy for him. And now Somalia is going to go for the Flygon to absorb the Thunderbolt. Since he doesn't know he has the Flygon, he thinks he could get away with it. But no, the Zapdos predicts him to switch and goes for the U-turn too. So this is just some crazy stuff right here. All this U-turning and U-turning. And so Somalia has his own Volturn of his own, so he wants to show it off. And now he's going to go into his Heracross, which is actually the only bug thing here who actually gets stab off a U-turn if he could actually have it. But MutanYY does set up a Calm Mind. And this probably really scares Somalia because he actually outspeeds the Heracross, which means he's I think, an offensive Crocoon. And the close combat does a pretty good chunk. If he was physically defensive and more bulky and had Surf, probably would have taken that better. But that doesn't matter because he's going to go for the Ice Beam, ensuring the 1-hit KO since the special defense drop. And Suicune does have that special attack raise. But now Somalia is going to bring in Flygon. MutanYY probably tried to be like, oh, it's Suicune, he's bulky, I can live it, but no. He's obviously not bulky because he does have the Hydro Pump and outspeeds the Heracross. But now, predicting the Outrage probably. He goes in Rotom H maybe. Or maybe he predicted the U-turn, which is a very good play on Somalia since he's been U-turning the whole match. But since he's Electric and Ghost, MutanYY knows the Flare Blitz will be neutral. But Somalia is going to bring in that Heatran, that big threat. And Heatran's going to eat that Flash Fire like a man. But now Flygon's going to come in. And Somalia makes sure to get up his rocks. And those rocks are very crucial because I'm pretty sure he does have the Zapdos left, and that's a very big deal. But now Somalia is going to scout out what Flygon's going to go for. And now knowing he is going to go for the Earthquake, Somalia does have that very important information, but he has to watch out for the double switch, which is actually going to happen right here. The Infernape is going to come in right here, predicting him to go into any Pokemon, and probably the Rotom H actually. Maybe to try to out-predict him now, since last time he did go into his Heatran when he went for the Flare Blitz, which was a very good play on Somalia's part. But Somalia is going to go into that Tyranitar now, and MutanYY predicting him to go into any other Pokemon is going to go for the U-turn, and he is going to switch out into his big threat Flygon. I don't even know, Flygon just seems funny in OU in any tier. But Somalia, like I said before, is going to leave the Tyranitar out for fodder later game, around 15 turns in, so that's a pretty good play on his part. And now the game is 4-4, but Somalia does have the switch advantage, so hopefully he takes that and uses it to his advantage. And so he's going to go into his Scarf Flygon, and so that's probably pretty scary for MutanYY. But he's going to go into Rotom H, maybe predicting the Flare Blitz with the close combat. No, probably the close combat. But MutanYY is going to go into that Zapdos, predicting the Earthquake. So there's a bunch of double switches happening this battle, and it just depends on one mess-up that can really probably determine this battle right here. But Somalia is going to switch out into Heatran, and maybe the overpredicting got the best of him, because he is going to get hit with that Thunderbolt, and that Thunderbolt really does hurt. That Heatran, that's a solid 2-hit KO. And maybe Somalia might have to cool it down with the predicting. He did great earlier in the battle, but this is where his predictions might get a bit predictable. But he's going to predict to get those lefties back. And getting those lefties back is a big deal, because that Heatran really wants to take a lot more hits from that. Well, probably maybe Flygon, because it's the only thing that really resists Dragon. But speaking of Flygon, MutanYY's going to bring in that Flygon right here. And that's a pretty big deal, because Somalia's also going to go and do his own Flygon. So this is just a Flygon war. Flygon's everywhere. Should be cray. But now Somalia's going to go in that Rotom H, predicting him to switch. maybe into Infernape to try to. I'm not sure why I went to Rotom. Maybe predicting the Earthquake on predicting the switch. But Somalia does have the Rotom H out, and MutanYY is going to try to set up that Lucario with that Swords Dance. And Rotom is going to go for the Thunderbolt. It does look like it kills, but guys, actually has 16% of HP left. Well, at least on mine, it says 0%, but Lucario is still living. So we know that the Lucario now has 6% after that Life Orb damage, and Somalia is going to fodder off his Rotom H. But Somalia is going to bring that Flagon, and he's going to make him go for the Extreme Speed and bring out Heatran right here. And so that Extreme Speed is going to do, I guess, an alright chunk. I wouldn't say it was too much. But Lucario is going to faint from the Life Orb damage. I know it doesn't say Life Orb. But like I said, Somalia wants to keep that Heatran for the Flagon, and here's where it's going to go down. Heatran's going to go for the Protect, trying to make MutanYY to make up his mind. And he's going to go for the Outrage, which is a big deal because now he's locked into Outrage. And it probably can 2-hit KO just because Flygon has a stab and a decent attack. And okay, it looks like a pretty solid 2-hit KO, knowing that it just did 22%, did a 5th. But the Lava Plume is going to burn the Flygon, which is a huge deal. That's a giant deal. Oh my god, that Flygon's going to get burned. And now that Heatran is going to be able to take any Outrage after this Protect, which is also a big deal because Flygon's locked into that Outrage still. And he's going to fail, of course. He's going to fail twice, actually, it looks like. But Flygon's going to get hit with that burn, no recovery. It doesn't look like this Flygon's going to get out of this match alive. And he's going to get hit with that Outrage again, and it's not going to kill. It's only going to do around 12%, which is really unfortunate. That Heatran would have been done. But no, that Heatran is going to stay alive, unfortunately for MutanYY. The hack seems to be strong inside Somalia this match. But Somalia is going to be against the ropes here. Although he is winning 3-2, he's going to bring that Infernape. And looks like MutanYY is going to kill off that Heatran. And here it's 2-2 right here, guys. Pretty intense battle right here. 2-2, 30th turn almost. Right here, Somalia is going to bring the Suicune. We're not really sure if Infernape is going to be able to KO with the close combat, because Suicune took 20% from the U-turn. And now he's going to live. Somalia is going to live. And it's a miracle because Somalia is going to go for the Hydro Pump. And thank God Hydro Pump hits. Because if it didn't hit, that'd be extremely unfortunate. Because I swear, I don't know about you guys, but Hydro Pump never hits for me. Because this game hates me. But Zapdos is going to come in right now. He is choice probably because, well, earlier in the match we did see Zapdos not get any recovery left. And now he's going to go for the Hidden Power. We're not sure what Hidden Power it is. It doesn't look like Ice. It could be Dragon. I really hope it's not Dragon, but we're not sure because it's neutral to water and it can't be Ice or Grass. Now Somalia's going to bring in that Flygon. We're not really sure what's going to happen. What's going to happen? And the Outrager is going to kill the Zapdos to end the game, guys. That was a good game. Good game with Somalia and MutanYY. One zip match. Somalia wins the battle. I thought it was a great battle, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe to POSimulator. That would be really cool. And, well, that's a good game, guys. So later. Pew, pew.